All right, good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Anita Francis, Walter Hayes.
Here.
Holly Levine.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
David File.
Here.
James Shanks. Roger Spencer.
Here.
Carol Wilbur.
Here.
And will you all join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, as we begin another session of the Board of Aldermen here in Carl Junction, grant us vision to see beyond the present and to plan for a future where our city thrives. Guide our decisions towards progress, growth, and a better quality of life for all. Amen.
Thank you, Walter. Okay, next we will approve the agenda. Does anybody have any corrections or comments on the agenda this evening?
Make a motion we approve the agenda as typed.
Second.
Motion by Roger, second by David to approve the agenda as typed. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. That is approved. Next will be the consent agenda. This will be the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting and the disbursements. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that?
Make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Motion by Roger, second by Walter to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. 6 approved and 2 absent on that. Okay, next will be for public forum. If anybody would like to speak for public forum this evening, please come up.
We want to talk about the 33 acres that we wait to settle.
During
For that
Steve, should they wait for?
until discussion for settle.
That's up to you guys, whether you want to open that up for public discussion or not.
Let's just go ahead and do it now if you don't mind. Okay, I'll read my thing real quick. All persons wishing to speak to the mayor and board of aldermen during the public comment portion of the meeting should come forward one at a time and stand at the podium. State your name, address, and subject matter you wish to comment upon. All comments should be directed to the mayor in a civil manner. Comments are limited to 5 minutes unless the mayor or board grants additional time. It is the mayor's responsibility to make certain these rules are followed and maintain order and decorum. If you have a question, the mayor and board may, of course, provide an immediate response. However, the mayor and board may also provide no response or response at a later time. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Bill Dooling. I'm at 107 Gum Road. This is regarding the 33 acres at Highway 171 and Gum Road. First of all, we got the site plan for that this week. Steve, thank you for sharing that with us last week. We understand that it's conceptual, but we do, and we appreciate you keeping us in the loop on it, but we did have a couple of comments on the site plan. First is the entrance to the commercial property off Gum Road. We've established a buffer to isolate and protect the residential area from the commercial development. Any access road punches a hole in that buffer and makes it less effective for noise, light, site protection. So if there's any way to avoid it, we do not want an access to the commercial property from Gum Road. The second item we noticed was the southern buffer. It was drawn up as only 25 feet, and while I realize he is outside of the city limits, we really kind of feel like that residence deserves the same 100-foot buffer protection that the inside the city limits gets. So. We also, I think you have it in your packets, but we put together some information regarding just traffic impact on residential neighborhoods, the just aesthetic considerations about building structure and style. There's some environmental issues mentioned there. There are also some questions just on those topics that we thought would be just pertinent to the project, and really just kind of a brainstorming type thing, things that we should be thinking about as this goes on. So. Now, just this afternoon, we did receive a site plan review checklist from Steve. We were kind of impressed with that. There was a lot on it. It was pretty detailed. There's a lot of things in that site plan that are in the information that we're providing. I think there's a few extra things in there probably as well that might not be in the site plan, but anyway, we did get that. So really, at this point in the process, our request is that the Gum Road access be removed from the conceptual plan, and that southern buffer be increased to 100 feet. That's what we're looking for.
Thank
Okay.
you for your feedback on that.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak this evening? Okay, thank you very much. We will move ahead to P&Z cases. Our first one is case 2509, rezoning 17 acres at Ivy Road and County Road 284. Are Nick and Tiffany here to speak on that?
I believe Cole, Clay, excuse me. Clay is here representing Tiffany and Nick. Planning and zoning did meet on this, and they are recommending approval.
Do you just want to go over this, or should Clay go over this? Oh, go ahead. Yes. Okay. I'd like to open the public hearing on this, please. Could you come up and just go over the project real quick so everybody knows what's going on? Thank you.
Clay Cole, going to be doing the excavation and site work for Nick and Tiffany Grattan over there at Ivy and County Road 284. We're going to develop 33 homes or 33 pads, I should say, and then he will develop them as he pleases. So, any questions, comments, concerns? Be glad to answer.
So the property is unzoned currently, and we're looking to rezone it to R1 residential. Okay.
That's correct.
Does anybody have any questions on that?
I have one. Did you find out anything about putting a four-way stop at that intersection yet, Steve?
No, I sent a request to Carl Junction Special Road District, and I had also talked to Jay about it quite a long time ago about getting that, but it needs to be that four-way stop there. Especially with the homes get developed there, it really needs to be a four-way there. And I think that if I remember right, the people that own the storage unit across from it actually requested that also.
Is anybody in the audience here to speak on this? Okay. Okay, if there's no comments or questions on that, I will close the public hearing. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move along to number 7, discussion for the conceptual site plan. We're just going to go over this conceptual real quick here.
Pretty quick at getting this back to us. One thing to note is that this is a couple of things on here is that it's got a draw down through the middle of it that is stormwater drainage naturally drains a large portion of the Dogwood Trails area, so we'll have to be very careful with that on any type of stormwater for development. And of course, the more concrete or more roof you have, you know, stormwater gets to be a bigger and bigger issue. So they will have to do that. They started thinking about how to make that a very effective buffer. And one of the, and this is conceptual, of course, and one of the ideas is because there was such a large drop in elevation from 945 feet down to 895 feet, that you could actually do a cut back there and put in a retaining wall and then put your green growth above that so that any type of development is lower, and use that a retaining wall as part of the buffer system too. And especially if you use the right kind back there that has angles to it, roughness to the face, that type of thing, it helps absorb that. So they're thinking about that. They have access to a landscape architect to make sure that anything that we plant in there is going to be good for noise pollution and reducing it. At this time, the exits and the entrances that Bill was talking about, there is the one off of Gum, but it does not have a right-hand turn, so you couldn't, what they've drawn in there, you can't make a right-hand turn and go up Gum. You have to go back out to the highway, so trying to limit the traffic that way. And it could very well be that it's not needed at all, so we do want to be mindful of that when we get to it. 171 has an extended right-hand turn lane if you're headed north. That would also include having to do more widening of 171 to put a left-hand turn lane in there from the southbound lane. Those are things that will be found out for a traffic impact study. And a traffic impact study, I think, for this is going to be mandatory. We've had them done for other locations too. Whoever it is that wants to develop in that, they'll have to have one done. And that will be part of the, the site plan will be that. A lot of the other, it is talked to a couple of contractors and talked to Jay about getting in there and get the cedar trees out of there, which need to be gone. He said there was even some Bradford pear in there that need to be taken out. Both of those, Department of Conservation wants gone. Get the scrub out of there, get the trees that have already fallen, get that dead stuff out of there. Any standing dead trees need to come down so they're not a hazard. Be a good project for Public Works. Jay thinks that they can do that. They have they actually have most of the equipment to do that type of thing. We do have a forestry tool for the front of the skid steer. It's a grinder. Does a really good job. You know what? Boys need to have experience on that because we have other places that we use that too. So contractors, both contractors were a little iffy on doing it. It's a large piece of property, and we don't want to totally clear it at all. A lot of that growth needs to stay. Now, if there's some mature trees that are damaged and everything, those can eventually come down. But we want to leave as much as we can right now. Any questions on that?
So, as we've said, this is conceptual, so we can definitely look at the changes that you guys requested, and this is a work in progress, so we will keep working on this. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think they brought in their document. I think they brought some really good questions.
Yeah.
Some really good information on there. That we'll attach that to the site plan itself, so that we can make sure that those things are covered.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on to number 8, ordinances. 8A, ordinance rezoning the 32 acres at Highway 171 and Gum Road. We'll take a motion to put this on first reading, please.
Make a motion to put the ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger, to put the ordinance on first reading by title only. Can you please read the title?
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone plus or minus 32 acres at Highway 171 and Gum Road, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by the City of Carl Junction as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from UD to C2.
Any further discussion or questions on this?
Steve, could you describe for us, if we approve the rezoning, then what the development process looks like next? What steps follow that?
After it's rezoned, we will let Retail Strategies know that we've got that zone for commercial, for any of those entities that they're talking to. We'll know about it, so that they don't have to go through that process. After that, it is really on Retail Strategies to find a company that's interested in that property. When they go through their selection process, then the first step of that would be the site plan review process, which has to be approved before they can do anything. That has to be totally approved, and that will get approvals from engineering also. And I guarantee you Kurt will have questions for them. But then, then we'll go through that process then.
So ultimately, I mean, nobody from Retail Strategies is here, but are we going to be able to kind of have an idea what's going to happen before we develop the land? Or are we, this is the way I should phrase it. If we have no offers whatsoever, Retail Strategies comes up to us with a big goose egg, are we going to develop the land regardless to get it ready for retail space? And then hope that's the incentive that brings people in?
I've tried not to think about that.
It is a worst case. It's a worst case snenario. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it is worst case
it is.
scenario, and I'm putting a lot of faith in Retail Strategies, to bring us something. But at that point, we could list it with a commercial real estate developer, and we can, which is totally up to you guys, and list it as will subdivide, and that gives whoever's looking at the property an option of how much they get.
So we've got a plan B and C here kind of in the back of our minds.
Yes.
Okay.
Any further questions or discussions?
Make a motion to put it on second reading by title only?
Second.
Motion by Walter, second by Carol, to put the ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone plus or minus 32 acres at Highway 171 and Gum Road, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by the City of Carl Junction as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from UD to C2.
Thank you. Anything final? Take a motion for final passage.
I'll make a motion to put it on final passage.
Motion by Walter, second by Bob, to put this on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to electronic vote, please. All those in favor of electronic vote, please raise your right hand. Okay, 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent. You may vote electronically. That is 7 in the affirmative with 1 absence, so the ordinance passes, and that will be ordinance number
2535.
2535. Thank you. Okay, move on to ordinance 8B, the rezoning of the 17 acres at Ivy Road and County Road 284. We can take a first reading for this one.
Make a motion to put the ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Carol to put this ordinance on first reading.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone plus or minus 17 acres at Ivy Road and County Road 284, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Nick and Tiffany Grattan as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from UD to R1.
Any further questions on this?
What's it zoned at now?
Undeveloped.
Undeveloped.
Make a motion we put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Rogers, second by David to put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone plus or minus 17 acres at Ivy Road and County Road 284, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Nick and Tiffany Grattan as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from UD to R1.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion to put it on final passage.
Make a motion to put the ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger to put that on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, please vote electronically. Okay, 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent, so that ordinance passes, and that will be 2536. Okay, thank you. 8C is ordinance approving change order number 2 with Elements Construction Concepts for the West Briarbrook Lane Stormwater Drainage Ditch Project.
Make a motion that we put the ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Walt to put that ordinance on first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving change order number 2 to an agreement between the City of Carl Junction, Missouri and Elements Construction Concepts Incorporated to construct the West Briarbrook Lane Stormwater Drainage Ditch for the City of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 2 to add and install new pipe, fittings, and bedding rock for an added cost of $3,724, bringing the total to $321,838, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said change order number 2 for and on behalf of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri.
This is on the stormwater ditch, West Briarbrook Lane. When they were doing their dirt work, they uncovered a sewer lateral from a house. And so they had to relocate that sewer lateral so they could get it deeper. And then they could get the flex mat in there at the depth that it was supposed to be. Really was a unanticipated, had no idea what was in the ground right there, because we don't know where all of the sewer laterals are at and how deep they are. A lot of them we can guess at and come pretty close, but that one we did not.
Does anybody have any questions on that?
Make a motion to put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, motion by Walt, second by David to put that ordinance on second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving change order number 2 to an agreement between the City of Carl Junction, Missouri and Elements Construction Concepts Incorporated to construct the West Briarbrook Lane stormwater drainage ditch for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 2 to add and install new pipe, fittings, and bedding rock for an added cost of $3,724, bringing the total to $321,838, and authorizing the mayor and the city administrator to execute said change order number 2 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Thank you. And I'll take a motion to put that on final passage.
Make a motion to put the ordinance on final passage?
Second.
Motion by David, second by Bob to put that on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, please vote electronically. Okay, that is 7 in favor with 1 absent, so that ordinance is approved, and that'll be ordinance number 2537. Okay. Thank you. Okay, and then our last ordinance for this evening will be a change order number 1 with Ace Pipe for the 2023 wastewater collection system rehabilitation project.
Make a motion to put the ordinance on first reading by title only?
Second.
Motion by David, second by Walt to put that ordinance on first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving change order number 1 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Ace Pipe Treating Company Incorporated to commence and complete the 2023-01 wastewater collection system rehabilitation in the city. Said change order number 1 to adjust contract quantities to match as-built quantities for an added cost of $13,162.93, bringing the total to $320,284.07, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said change order number 1 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
This is to finalize our 2023 contract with Ace Pipe, cleanup of the contract so that the contract dollar amounts match what we should pay them. There was 4 items that caused the cost increase. 2 of them were emergency open cut ones. Another one was the emergency, the sanitary sewer overflow we had on the manhole on the walking bridge across Center Creek that we had to get taken care of, making sure that it wasn't plugged before we did anything, and that's what caused it. And then there was a couple of smaller ones that Jay asked to be added to it, some cleaning and CCTV work on Summit Brentwood, and then there was some trimming of laterals that they had to do in the process too. But this will balance everything out for that 2023 contract, and we'll be done with that one. They've already started work on the 25.
So those additional items just got us up to the amount we agreed to pay for to begin with?
Yes.
Any other questions or discussion on this?
Make a motion to put the ordinance on second reading by title only?
Motion by David, second by Bob to put the ordinance on second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving change order number 1 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Ace Pipe Cleaning Company Incorporated to commence and complete the 2023-01 wastewater collection system rehabilitation in the city. Said change order number 1 to adjust contract quantities to match as-built quantities for an added cost of $13,162.93, bringing the total to $320,284.07, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said change order number 1 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion to put that on final passage, please.
Make a motion, we put it on final passage?
Second.
Motion by Rogers, second by Walt to put that ordinance on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. Please raise your right hand if in favor. 7 in favor with 1 absent. Please vote electronically. Okay, 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent, so that ordinance passes. That'll be ordinance number 2538. And we will move along to reports. We'll go to our long-term project report first from Steve.
With the facilities on the strategic plan, the architects and engineers would like to meet with the Public Facilities Committee and some of us staff on the 29th of October at 3 p.m.
Who has meetings at 3 p.m., Steve? Jeez. Obviously, it never worked for the government.
It only works for those federal employees. Can't work right now.
If you don't get paid, you can have a meeting whenever.
And then they will be scheduling another community meeting on whichever evening works the best, the 5th, 6th, or 12th of November. So look at your calendars there too for those dates. That will be an evening meeting like the first one we had.
Dang it, the 29th is trunk or treat. Let's see. So stormwater project, we are 25% complete on that?
Yes, about 25% complete.
What's our estimated completion?
Yes, we gave them, I think we only gave them 90 or 120 days to get it completed. And they have moved along, they've moved along, it's probably to keep getting good days to work.
Splash pads all shut down?
Got that done today.
Oh, today.
Yep.
Any other questions, council?
What are we going to do with the pool for this winter?
I'm not going to swim in it, Carol.
I wanted to, though.
Um,
I mean, are we going to winterize it, or is it just dead in the water, or what's the
Well,
situation?
it'll be winterized. I mean, we didn't turn anything on other than the water to it. So everything's, valves are all, reopened. Water shut off to get the lines flowed out.
I know the chief's not here, but did we get that Tesla in on Monday? Yesterday?
No,
We didn't? Okay.
it was supposed to be delivered, but it was not.
Okay.
What do we actually need on the council chamber AV? Is it just us making a decision, or?
You guys make a decision on it. We've got, I think, 2 weeks ago, or it might have been a month ago, gave you pricing on 2 new projectors, 2 cameras, 1 camera that would show the audience, the other camera would show you guys, a new computer to be able to handle all of that. Scott said he can install that stuff. He has the capability of doing that. If we get the stuff bought, and I cannot remember off the top of my head how much. Holly, remember that I, Holly, you remember, I emailed you?
Yeah, you emailed it to me.
How much that was?
Just for the installation part? Or-
No, that was for what we would have to buy and what it seems like it came out to about 12. That's
Yeah,
right.
maybe a little less. I do have some feedback on the components though, so I'd like to dig in a little more on that.
Well, I just want us to get it done. I mean, my first meeting back here 18 months ago, I asked about this and getting these cameras replaced where the public could have a better view of what's going on in here. We're still nickel and diming this to a certain degree.
Sure.
We are, but I will say, I mean, I don't know realistically where we at. I assume we believe that by doing this, by having the cameras, that we'll have a increased amount of engagement in the city. I mean, so from my way of thinking, when it comes to spending money, is what's the ROI, right? What's the return on our investment? If we're going to spend 10 grand or 12 grand, what value comes on the other side of that? So I'm assuming that the value that we've got in our heads here is that if we have these new cameras and stuff and these meetings are a little bit more lively, or you can see my face better, which I have a face for radio, so I admit that. But what are we hoping to achieve, I guess? I think, Walter, with you, like, I could agree. Like, I think this is a good idea all the day, every day. But I struggle now that I think about spending money, what I'm spending it for. Like, do we believe that people will be more engaged? Is that?
You don't have any guarantee there, but it's in my mind, at least it's some level about being more transparent. Right now, the engagement is they get to see this.
It's very hard
Right.
to watch
Yeah,
the
and
meetings.
we've heard these
and
complaints
follow.
before, right?
And they have no idea who's talking because they can't see anybody.
And we've heard these complaints before. People said, well, we don't have the minutes online and we don't have meeting advance. You know, we want it on Facebook and we want it on the website. We want another website that's just dedicated to nothing but this. Like, I get that. So I'm not opposed to this at all. I just want to make clear, like, why we believe this is something important.
Whether somebody's watching live or they're watching it after the fact, I think it's something that, really, I think it's something we owe the citizens at the end of the day, for them to be able to see what's going on here and which one of us is talking at a particular time and so forth.
Could we have it on the agenda for the next meeting for us to vote to either approve or not?
Any other questions for Steve? Okay. We've got a treasurer's report here. Does anybody have any questions, comments on that? Let's see, and then for department reports, I believe we have Public Works. Any comments, Jay? Oh, I saw that. You got a lot done. Good, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Public Works? Okay. And then Building Inspector report, anything on that? And then the chief's out of town this week, so we don't have a police report.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, but we do.
Oh, we do? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, well,
You got one?
I didn't-
there, if
Oh,
you
thank
look
you.
at it, they're entitled Police Department Notes. It's actually a report.
Okay,
But I can read it as is, or or I can just summarize what's the summary here.
No need to read it word for word.
Okay. Well, Chief McCall is in Denver, Colorado for the annual IACP conference, meetings, educational workshops, networking opportunities. He sent me an idea of what all he's going to be working on, and I think he would rather be here. But, he's going to come back with a whole lot of good information. On the 13th of this month, Tim Stever and Officer Bendel went to the upfitting company in Kansas City to check out new laptops and new lighting systems that were going to be going into our cars. And our promise that the vessel will be delivered sometime this week. Also, our 3 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles, also called Explorers. They're all in service but one. We still have to have radios and radar units and other stuff installed, but we're still putting them out there, and guys love them. So we did real well with that purchase. Shop with the Cop, donations are coming in. Still looking for volunteers. It's important that we get volunteers early because they have to be vetted since they're going to be working with kids.
do you happen to know the date for the Shop with the Cop this year?
December 13th.
13th. Okay, perfect.
All the questions I asked, that was not one that I asked.
And we had a couple of interesting calls. One individual here is well aware of one of them. An individual that was under the influence and also had some mental issues that was running around outside and threatened a bunch of kids at a birthday party. The adults there were very sharp and got them all into the house before this gentleman was able to stage an attack. The guy did try to get into the house. Officers responded, and after taser deployment, he was taken into custody, first to Freeman Hospital for 96 hours. Then he was taken to jail after charges were filed for attempted burglary, and his bond was set at $500,000, probably because he had been released about a week, 2 weeks before on a bond that said he wouldn't get in trouble again. And the judge, who was the same judge, apparently he was not happy with that.
Worst clown ever.
Yeah, hadn't thought about that, but it was entertaining for a while. And then we also arrested a sex offender that he ended up with a $3,000 bond. He moved into a house over on Red Oak. Been there a month, disturbance call, of course, start checking around with people, and okay, we found out he wasn't registered, so he went to jail.
One comment there, because I know the public will bring this up, at least they will to me for sure. $3,000 bond versus $500,000 seems quite significant, right?
It does.
So part of the bond setting process is done by the judge. It's not set in, stone by law. It must be this much of that amount. So the fact that these bond amounts are that different is not really a result of the law, more so as the judge's discretion.
Judge's discretion over what he thinks.
Okay.
High bond, sometimes because somebody does not need to be out, because they're just going to cause problems. And this individual obviously was going to continue causing problems. The other one was a simple failure to register as a sex offender. You have to register, you might be able to bond, you might not. Some people burned all their bridges, there's nobody that'll pay $3,000 to get them. That's all I have, unless there's any other questions.
Any questions for the police? All right, thank you very much for being here this evening. Okay, then we'll move on to committee reports. I asked if any questions. No questions. Okay, budget and finance. Walter, anything this evening?
Yes, November 4th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a budget committee meeting. KPM will be here to present the audit report, and we will also look at last quarter.
6 p.m.?
6 if we could, yes.
Thank you. Code and nuisance, Carol?
Yes, we had a meeting tonight to discuss changing a code on service station, gasoline stations. That'll be presented to planning and zoning at their next meeting.
Great, thank you. Human and resources, anything this evening, Roger?
No, nothing.
Thank you. Public facilities and planning, anything, David?
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Let's see, and then economic development, retail strategies will be here November 18th to address the council and go over updates with us. Okay. That will be November 18th. That'll be the second council meeting in November. Okay, and let's go with unfinished business. Any unfinished business, Bob? No. Roger? Nothing from me. David?
No, ma'am.
Walter?
Yes, a month or two ago, I talked about, I got an email from somebody that lives over by Frank Dean Park, and they were asking about speed bumps in particular. And we've talked about this in the past, but in fact, we don't do speed bumps because of snow removal in particular. But as I got to look at this a little bit, we could do, if we wanted, temporary speed bumps that we basically deployed in the spring and we took up before snow hits, and we have to worry about that with snow plows. And I think that would be something that we should investigate. What I've looked at online, they're not terribly expensive. Depend, of course, on how many you want to buy and so forth, but I think that would be perhaps a valid option to look into, especially, places like Frank Dean where you have a lot of traffic going in and out for these ball games and such.
You're talking about on, is that Terrell
That'd be Park
or Park?
Park Lane, I think, or in Terrell a little bit as well.
Do you remember the address of the people that you would?
I'd have to look.
I think it was Park Lane.
Yeah.
Address.
Yeah, that I'm sure of. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just, if we could look into that, I would really like
Sure.
us to.
Sure, thank you. Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Carol, any unfinished? James?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Steve, unfinished? Crystal? Elena? Mr. Talley? Oh, I was going to say an unfinished. Elena did post the draft minutes. Did you see that for last meeting? Okay, thank you. Any unfinished for Jay? Okay. The police? Any unfinished business? Okay. Let's go to new business. Start over here, James.
Oh, my gosh, me first. No, kind of, sort of. I do want to throw this out there. Walter and I think probably everybody else, got some communication from a gentleman talking about barking dogs and the issues surrounding that. I think, officially my new business is I do want to dive into the codes and the ordinances. I know there was a part of me that wanted to be here for codes at 6:30, Carol, just couldn't do it. But I think there's a confrontation that can happen there where neighbors are upset with each other and there's some kind of noise ordinance going on. And the answer has always been the police. You call the police. Of course, police have things to do. And if they're on anything more important than a barking dog, then they're going to do that first, which is what we want. But by the time they circle around and get to the household, if the dogs aren't barking at that exact moment in time, they can hang out for a little bit, but there's really nothing they can do. It's just kind of a thing. But it creates confrontation between neighbors, and I think that's a problem. I know we don't issue fines, and I know there's really no consequence, really, but we need a better solution. I don't know what it is, but we have got to find a way for the codes and ordinances of the city, when they're violated, for there be a consequence of measure, other than, and again, I'll give you some background, but this gentleman called the police 38 times in 4 months, which
So is
sounds...
this an ongoing issue, like
Oh,
just
my
one
goodness,
individual?
it sounds crazy, right? But the woman who lives there rents the home, so she's not even the homeowner. So, something that was floating around in my head was, well, we need to quit going to the tenant. We need to go to the homeowner. If the homeowner is in the home, that's fine, but the homeowner is not in the home, we need to go to the homeowner. If we can just advise them that their home is not in accordance with the ordinances or is in violation in some way or another, maybe that will push it forward. But ultimately, I don't know what we need to do so much as I would like to have a discussion about, if you've got a rule that you don't enforce or can't enforce, is it a rule? I mean, it is what it is. If it's not enforceable and it's not being enforced, then it might as well not even be there. So we took the time to put the ordinances in the code. We've taken the time to vet them. We need to find an enforcement mechanism. My personal preference is not to involve the police necessarily, but if that's what it needs, if we need to do, that's fine. But it is an issue that's been brought to my attention, and I've got personal experience with it too, and it is an issue. So people deserve their peace, and I will go on the record as saying that. I understand that dogs bark, and that's fine. But we have hours posted in the code book. We have a noise ordinance posted in the code book specifically about dogs. We've got to find a way to make that stick, for lack of a better term. So that's my piece on that. So.
Okay. Thank you, James. Any other new business? Nothing else for you? Okay. Carol?
No.
Walter, any new business?
I will just latch on to what James said simply because he emailed me about it, somebody in our ward. And what I sent back to him is what I found was in 205.150 of the code. It just says that a complaint could be filed against the homeowner for peace disturbance. There's no conversation in there about the ability to fine or anything like that. And then it points to 210.670 of the code, which I can't even find. It doesn't appear to exist. So my comment in general is I do think we need to work on our code. We recently, with events that we've had, have seen instances where code is rather vague in places. And considering that the size of the code book has effectively doubled since I've left the board in 2011 to come back in 2024, it just seems like I question a little bit, I guess, the quality of some of the code that we've put in here.
So we are getting ready to recodify the book. Will they catch things like that, do you know? Like,
They should catch that if it doesn't exist.
It's under Article 5, it's peace disturbances, 210.670. But yes, and we had, actually, Steve and I had a meeting with General Code last week, and they talked about it. That is the first thing to do. They need to go through, look to see where stuff like this exists. They have 180 business days from the date the contract is signed, which puts it into about mid-April. And then at that point, they will bring that to us, for a nuisance to have a meeting, or the council, however we want to do it. And basically, they will give us a list of the problems that they find and stuff that needs to be rectified. And then you guys will make a decision on how we want to rectify that and get that back. But we did have that meeting last week.
okay, great, thank you. Anything else, Walter?
No, sir. No,
Okay, thank you.
no thanks.
Anything, David?
I would just add to the previous comments that I agree code enforcement is important, and it's a benefit to all residents if we're diligent in enforcing our codes. But I think what we'll need to do as we plan for the budget next year is look at additional code enforcement staff for the police department, because we've got one code enforcement officer for the entire city, and I know that at times his capacity is maxed out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good thought, thank you, David. Okay, nothing for me this evening.
Nothing.
Roger? Bob?
Nothing.
Mr. Talley, any new business?
Just one observation. I started prosecuting for the city of Joplin April Fool's Day 1972. And I swear my first case was a barking dog case.
Doesn't go away, does
The
it?
problem hasn't changed. Well over 50 years.
You'd think we'd have found a better solution by now, but.
Thank you. Any new business, Elena?
Just one, so over the weekend, we did take a lightning strike to the building. Our backup power source was pretty effectively killed, and when that happened, it somehow corrupted the windows on our info server, so we have been without utilities in City Hall for the last 2 days. Can't take credit card payments, basically we can't take credit cards of any kind. We can take cash and checks and write the manual receipts. So Scott has been working on it. He has been talking to Encode. We do at least have the server back, and Tyler Technologies is working on getting everything on Encode put back in there. But City Hall has been down in terms of utilities for the past 2 days, and will still be down for at least a little while tomorrow. We are putting it out on Facebook. Crystal's been putting on Facebook, trying to update people each day. But they have to completely rebuild the server, basically. So that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry you're dealing with that.
What, just a guess, what percentage of people pay their bills via the office and not online? Just guessing.
Depends on the time of the month it is honestly, which I know sounds crazy. The payment type also depends on the month. Right now is when we have a lot of people calling in wanting to pay by credit cards. So we've probably told about 100 people over those 2 days, we're so sorry, we cannot take a credit card payment this time.
Are we going to work with these people, though?
And we keep telling
Double
them,
late fee.
you know,
Double
you
late
call
fee.
back, or or we're putting on Facebook, but we've also told them all, we can't do shut-offs if this doesn't come back up. This
Right,
system
okay.
is how we generate shut-offs. So if we can't take their payments, we can't shut their water off.
Right, okay, thank you.
So,
Any new business, Crystal? Okay, new business, Steve? Okay. Any new business, Jay? Any new business from the police? No? Okay. Any business before the council?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger to adjourn.